Hit that like button, subscribe. Welcome to another episode of Focus Daily TV. Today we'll be speaking about how propaganda and media has been used to destroy our image, making it acceptable to what's the word? To treat us the way that we've been treated. We've been going through a virtual holocaust as Black Americans, virtually and actually. And all of this is enhanced or backed up by the propaganda that they present on the evening news. In the early 1900s, the media conglomerates began to put out information that painted Black men, especially, as criminals, as worthy of destruction. All of this was done so that the disenfranchisement of us as a people could be more thoroughly executed against us. Let's see what the Bible says about these acts. Get my imagery up. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 16. Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Do not do anything that endangers your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. So basically, by spreading this propaganda and damaging the image of Black men specifically, these foreigners went totally against the laws of God, which is why it's important that us as a people hurry up and get ourselves together, turn from our wicked ways, so that we won't be a part of the wrath that God will soon execute against the enemy, his enemies, and the enemies of his people. Of course, I got a short film about it. Let's get into it. See what the Guardian has to say about this.
So in Chicago during 1919, there's a confrontation at a beach. A young man seemingly crosses a line. The white community sees that.
Now, keep in mind, all of this was planned precisely for the opportunity to execute this Holocaust against the Afro Americans.
As a white space. He is confronted and there are stones thrown at him and he ultimately drowns. The young man who was killed, his name was Eugene Williams. And as a result, there is a confrontation that happens between the Black and white citizens. There's a Black police officer who attempts to arrest one of the white men involved in the death of this young person, and he's prevented from doing so. And tensions continue to rise, and you start to see where white mob violence escalates.
There's a lot of chaos. People are very angry on both sides, and the rumors get wild very fast. Violence just starts erupting.
So during the early 1900s, there was an event known as the Red Summer. And during the Red Summer, multiple Black communities were entered and destroyed, and it was all propagated as racial rioting, when in actuality, it was a Holocaust, an intentional killing of communities so that they may be taken over and the people replaced by the foreign invaders.
All over Chicago. And this was an incredibly important economic powerhouse for the country. The stockyards provided meat for the nation, basically, and suddenly the city's immobilized. The violence ranged. You'd have these gangs roaming around, attacking people with
It was a military
rocks,
campaign.
knives, guns.
And there are people who go into communities basically killing random black people, burning their homes and renting fire trucks to come in and put out fires. They destroy a whole area in Chicago where African Americans lived, worked, and played.
So for literally for days, the second largest city in the country was in total chaos.
Around 1915, you have President Woodrow Wilson who screens Birth of a Nation in the White House, a film that depicts African Americans.
So as part of this plan, the White House showed a film known as The Birth of Nation, where the propaganda had begun. They used this film to influence those who may have been on the fence that us as Afro-Americans were deserving of this Holocaust and undeserving of our birthright, the property given to us by the Lord.
African men as brutal beings, desirous of white women, and the protectors of society, and these white women are the Klan. So the racial climate in the United States during the period of 1917 to early 1920s was society viewing African Americans as second-class citizens, people in positions of authority often.
Once again, their goal was to crucify us and resurrect themselves into our position, to steal our names, to steal our identities. We were the actual Jews, but all of a sudden others are considered the Jews. Things of this nature.
Times were also members of the Klan. There's the Daughters of the Confederacy creating curriculum, painting a narrative of the lost cause, and leaving out African Americans in terms of their contributions.
Slander. Intentionally slanderizing us so that they may do harm to us, which goes against the law we've just read, the law we're discussing today.
Society. There's the American Historical Association and Columbia University and William Dunning essentially reiterating Black people needing to know their place.
There was definitely many examples where the press played a pretty bad role in repeating rumors that were unfounded.
Once again, the media was used as a weapon to subvert the minds of the nation, even our minds. The media had an effect of making us think that we were less than, so that, once again, they could perpetrate these crimes, this Holocaust against our people.
Headlines that would say Negro riot, when in fact the riot was white mobs attacking Black people. That happened over and over and over again. For months, media had been reporting incidents of attacks on white women. They would use these animalistic terms in their coverage. A black brute had attacked a white woman here, to the point where the NAACP wrote letters and met with the press and said, come on, you're inciting violence here. Then one day, a white woman is walking home. Nobody knows exactly what happened, but two African-American men are walking the other way, and they jostled the woman, or she jostled them, and they exchanged words. Pretty minor incident, but that gets translated in the rumor mill to, did you hear about the two black men who just raped a white woman? And it becomes a call to arms. And there was actually a newspaper report saying all these men are going to be gathering at the Peace Monument in Washington, D.C. And that's where they chose to gather, and hundreds of soldiers and sailors gathered there and began rioting and just attacking African Americans left and right, pulling people out of trolleys, going into restaurants where a lot of
Okay, that's it for today. The point being that we must return to the Word. Us as a people and all other nations, we all will bow. We all must bow. Trying to find the right words, make sure I communicate this correctly. But until the next time, Focus Daily, y'all.